Welcome in, everybody. Tuesday night here, another edition of the Joe Quill Show here, and using some new music to start the show tonight. Thought I'd go a little different with the Muzak that EV Mux offers us. So I was like, why not? Let's do it here. So hope everybody's doing well out there, and going to be talking a lot of sports here tonight, and I'm going to get you to the point where you're like, will you stop talking about the friggin' parade? Well, the parade has been finalized, and I'll give you some details of that here. Also, just to let you know, it is snowy here in Philadelphia. Um, I think, now, my personal opinion, before we get started here, in an ideal world, the parade would have been tomorrow. In an ideal world, but you got a snowstorm coming through tonight. Yeah, not that much in the way of snow, but enough to annoy you, and it's coming at the perfect time late at night so that the road crews can get out there and get everything as ready as they can for rush hour tomorrow morning. So yeah, so you're using all the resources on that, so let's do it for that. So you don't want to double down with everything in Philadelphia. Then you got another storm coming on Thursday. So obviously, you want to make this as best you can with the weather conditions and everything like that. Because remember, it's winter here still. So they landed on Friday, which is Valentine's Day, and you know, and the mayor did say, "Don't worry, you'll still be able to have your Valentine's Day dates at night, but during the day, we're going to be celebrating the Eagles." So that's what they're doing with the parade here in a nutshell. I watched most of the press conference this morning, and you know, just to get the confirmation, because the kids will be off from school in Philadelphia. In the city of Philadelphia, they announced it. They announced at the press conference that the public schools would be closed on Friday. Also, the the Catholic schools in Philadelphia will be closed on Friday. But the archdiocese said outside the city of Philadelphia and the five surrounding counties, you're on your own to make that decision. So, but I imagine for the most part, unless you know that somebody is a stinking Cowboys fan, you say, "Hey, you got to come to school, little fucker." but it is a rare event that you're going to see in Philadelphia this week, and we don't win many titles. We always contend and come up short, but um, it was a weird thing to see on Sunday, as I said, on Sunday night, that you have a team that totally dismantled the defending champs. And, going into the fourth quarter, you're thinking, geez, no pressure no pressure, not worrying about whether they'll win or not or anything like that. It was just a matter of what the final score will be. So, but it was a great thing. And the city will celebrate tonight. Um, I did see tonight, for um, those that are going to be awake around 11:30. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are going to be on the Tonight Show tonight. So even if you're those people that say, "Oh, I can't watch that shit anymore. They get too political. They hate Trump. They hate this. They hate that." If you're an Eagles fan, suck it up, Buttercup, and Um, go in there and enjoy basking in the glow of seeing two of our stars on the late night stage on the Tonight Show. Show starts 11:35 Eastern. Um, hopefully, I remember to watch it because I have a habit of wanting to watch certain things, and next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, I forgot about this, and then I forget I can stream it now as well on whatever platform, and I forget about that as well. And next thing you know, it's like a week later, it's like, oh, they're on the Tonight Show, no shit, or or in a couple of months when they're in reruns for like 2 3 weeks at a time, it's like, wait, I forgot about this, things like that. So 11:35 tonight, they will be on. They'll be on sometime tonight during the Tonight Show. Obviously, it probably was just finished up the recording of it, because it's live to tape where they record it hours in advance, and if they have to edit some things out, they will, and things like that. So, but um, so let's get to it here. Kellen Moore, Aaron Rodgers news, Nevada news, and some raw video from New Orleans. So we'll get to all that here coming up here. But as I stated, the Eagles parade is set, and congrats to Aunt Viv because she did have the parade going the correct direction. The parade will be starting at 11 a.m. on Friday. And thankfully, I work at home, so I don't have to deal with all the assholes getting onto the Mark and Frankfurt line because, you know, you think you're going to be standing right at the door. No, you're standing all the way back, and good luck trying to get out at your stop. Um, but you do have a, but you will have a parade here. It goes from Broad and Patterson up to City Hall and around to the Art Museum through the by way of the Ben Franklin Parkway. 11 a.m. start. Um, um, it's an 11 a.m. start. Um, the ceremonies will begin around 2 and wrap up around 3:15. So probably the same time frame that we saw back in 2018 when the Eagles won Super Bowl 52. Um, so they'll go all the way up Broad Street. Um, and also, just to let you know, if you're going to take SEPTA down there, have a lot of patience. And also, note that some stations are going to be closed on Friday. So just to let you know ahead of time, because the last thing you want to do is think that you're getting off at a station, you're ending 3 miles away. So, but um, yeah, so they plan for it. They plan for the team to arrive around 12:30. Um, going to be a stage at the famous Rocky Steps, as we call it. The ceremonies will begin at 2, like I said. There's going to be 15 jumbotron screens to aid viewing, as well as other sensory-friendly resources. Um, so they will be doing that. That will be this week. This will be Friday, and the weather should be fine. It'll just be cold, but it won't be as cold as 2018. Um, some of the things are going on within the city. Um, so if you're in Philadelphia, some of the things that you should take note of. There's no trash and recycling in the city of Philadelphia to accommodate the parade. Collection will be pushed back one day. So if your collection day is Friday, it'll be Saturday this week. Um, canceled classes already for Friday. I'm sure other colleges have done that already as well. Um, um, Eagles fans set a record for apparel sales after the Super Bowl win. Um, Fanatics, which manufactures all officially licensed NFL gear, made the announcement Tuesday afternoon that the Eagles fans set a record for apparel sales in the 24 hours after the dominant victory over the Chiefs. Um, like in other local sports stores, the Philly faithful went online to place Fanatics orders as soon as the game ended and set new records for orders per minute 6 different times in the hour after the game. On Monday morning at Lincoln Financial Field, the line at the Philadelphia Eagles Pro Shop, which sells the merchandise, stretched to the parking lot before the store opened. Um, I mean, it was probably even longer when they first brought back those puke green uniform. I mean, Kelly green uniforms. So, um, Birds fans from more than 60 countries in all 50 states have made purchases since the win, according to Fanatics, which was founded by Philadelphia area native Michael Rubin. Um, Gear emblazoned with the Super Bowl champions title has been particularly popular, as have midnight green jerseys bearing Saquon Barkley's 26 and Jalen Hurts number 1, similar to those worn during Sunday night's rout. Um, there's also been high demand too for Cooper DeJean, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown. Um, One thing I will tell you guys, I got mine before the game, and there he is, Cooper DeJean, because I am an exciting white, so I thought I'd join the group and get his jersey as opposed to Hurts. Um, kind of broke my little promise I made to myself in 2018 that I would buy the winning quarterback's jersey. Fuck it. Uh, but um, but yeah, so Eagles fans are loading Fanatics with orders left and right, and probably printing all kinds of stuff even now. And oh, by the way, congrats to all those third world countries that do not have to see Eagles Super Bowl championship gear, because guess what? Some truckloads of Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl championship gear have finally hit some third world countries. So hope they enjoy those. The championship gear. I know we confused those third world countries about 20 years ago when the Eagles got to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Oh wait, that's right. Yeah. but um, but yeah, it's it is a fun thing, even though even with the economy the way it is, that we're um, getting to buy new championship gear. I get to upgrade my stuff in a little bit. I'll be ordering mine in a little bit. I just got to make sure I had the funds in the cards or the accounts or whatever. So, but uh, but yeah, a lot of that's going on right now, and I just have to see which one will get it to me fastest, even though it won't be by Friday. I know that because the crush of orders from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware have really spiked websites usage and all that, and tested bandwidth and everything like that, as you would think. So, but yeah, so they did order all those, um, and the city is estimating that approximately more than a million people could come to Philadelphia to celebrate the Eagles win. I'll let you know right now, if you did not have a hotel room, you're SOL probably, because not only is it the Super Bowl parade, it's also Valentine's Day. And shout out to all the um, um, all the staff workers at the hotels that have to clean up after um, on Saturday the 15th, because normally it is a big thing. But if I can find that picture, I can quote it properly here. But of course, I can't because I'm a dope. Hmm, I don't have it. God damn it. It'll pop up on my Facebook in the next couple of days as long as I remember to check the recent history or the memories, as they call it. Um, but, uh, yeah, I can't find it. So, oh well. Anyway, so just some other things here. Apparently, Eagles fans woke up tired on Monday. Um, some people didn't even make it to work. Um, Castle Systems, the security company, tracks office occupancy compared to pre pandemic levels. The levels were always much lower on Mondays than midweek, roughly 50% nationally and just under 40% locally. Um, it dipped by several percentage points in the Philadelphia metro area. Not only it may not be the only time it happens this week because of the victory parade on Friday. Yeah, everybody's going to be closed. Um, and uh, and like I said, the Philly schools are closed. And Sherelle Parker, aka Aunt Viv, um, apparently she was an English teacher, um, but she spelled NFL champions right. NFLChampions. So, um, and also one last thing here. Um, it's about damn time. President Donald Trump praised the Eagles' dominant performance over the Chiefs during an appearance on a conservative radio show on Monday night. Uh, the Eagles were the Eagles were really, it was like flawless football, amazing. Even the first play they called it back. It was a long pass. It was either a touchdown or going to be a touchdown. They called it back, completed a long pass, and they went on and get touchdown after touchdown. They really played great. I hope that sounded okay. And if not, fuck it. Um, the comments, as for the Chiefs, who lost by 18, Trump said it was not a well played game by the one team. So the comments were made during the Mark Levin show, a conservative radio program after Levin, who is from Philadelphia, asked Trump for his thoughts on the game. It was a change of tone from the president who had sparsely publicly commented the Birds, snubbing their NFC championship win while congratulating the Chiefs' win, and initially withholding a claim for the Eagles' Super Bowl win, writing about Taylor Swift and the NFL's kickoff rules on true social media instead. Um, when breached for comment Monday afternoon, the White House did not comment on whether Trump had privately reached out to Eagles to express his congratulations. Um, Trump also doubled down on his doubled down on his commentary about Swift and the league's kickoff rules during the show. He contrasted the receptions that he and the singer-songwriter received when they were broadcast on the Jumbotron in the Superdome. I think it's the worst moment for probably endured by Taylor Swift, who got actively booed out of the stadium. Trump said of Swift, who was at the Super Bowl supporting her boyfriend Travis Kelsey. Um, so they do have Trump and Swift do have a history. The Berks County native routinely endorsed his political opponents. She supported Kamala Harris and former President Joe Biden, and has stood for other Democratic aligned causes and candidates over the years. Trump has targeted Swift in the past, creating a fake ID AI generated endorsement from her in August 2024. Um, since criticizing Swift's Super Bowl appearance, Trump has reposted videos of her getting booed and one inauthentic photoshopped image of her holding a pro Trump flag. Um, and Trump said that I think it's so bad for the game with the new kickoff rules. Um, the White House did not comment Monday on any preliminary plans for the Eagles' visit to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Um, Now, in February 2018, when the Eagles beat the Patriots, Trump rescinded the Birds' invitation to the White House after many players indicated they would not attend the visit. And as Trump expresses his pleasure with the football players who kneeled or went to the locker room during the national anthem, despite none of the Eagles having done so that season. Time will tell whether they go to DC or not. Um, but the one thing I would say is, I mean, I would have reservations about going if I was on the Eagles team, but it's like, oh, you respect the president, blah blah blah. You know, there's been people on the Republican side that did not want to go to Obama or Biden as well, so it goes both ways. Um, but you know, I just think um, if you're going to watch, I mean, if you're going to go down to DC, I'm sure some people will not go. Um, because it just seems to me, and you could say, oh, Joe's just a Democrat. I'm a free thinker, okay? So what if my registration says Democrat? It's only Democrat because I get to vote in the primary, and I can vote for people like Jenna Tolles or um, you know Sticks Gazinia or anything like that. But you want to put a funny name in a race where a race is unopposed. You know, it's like, yeah, he's going to win anyway. So yeah, Jenna Tolles, Reggie Hammond, all that fun stuff. You know, but you do have all that going on here this week, and if the Eagles go to Washington, then so be it. But I'm not going to tell them not to go. It's their decision. Um, um, just trying to find one thing here. Um, no, I don't have it yet. Okay. Okay. So, um, yeah, so that's basically what's going on in the world of Philly and the parade and everything's going on post Eagles championship. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm not gonna say one way or the other whether the Eagles should go or not. I mean, I prefer they don't, but you know, I'm sure for every guy who detests Trump, there's a guy that'd be willing to suck his dick in front of the cameras. But it is what it is. So whatever. If you want to go, fine. If not, it's no big deal to me. But the most important thing is the parade is on Friday, starting at 11 a.m. So um, we'll see what happens with all that. So um, one of the residual effects here of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl is Brendan. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well out there. The one residual effect of um, um, winning the Super Bowl or your team really doing well, even if you don't win a Super Bowl, is the fact that your assistant coaches get poached. And in this case, um, Kellen Moore was announced as the new head coach of the Saints today. And, he's 36, 37 years old. And, I have no problem with him going to be a head coach. And, I think that you don't realize how well you were going to go when how well you were going to do. Um, but yeah, you have a coach here who is young, has a good offense and everything like that. Um, And I think he showed that not only can he throw the ball like his teams did when he was in Dallas, he showed this year that his teams can pound the ball time after time after time. And he does have Alvin Kamara there. I believe he's a year older than Saquon, so I think so. But I looked it up a couple of days ago, and if I'm wrong, so be it. I don't care. Um, so, um, but but he is the new head coach at New Orleans. I don't know if when the press conference will be, or will he be at the parade or anything like that. Um, but for the third straight season, the Eagles will be looking for a new offensive coordinator. And a crazy stat: in the last 10 years between college and the NFL, Jalen Hurts has had 9 different offensive coordinators. Now, normally you say, man, that's horrible. But I think with Jalen Hurts, and I may be giving too much credit to him because, I talked about that one guy on Sunday night who said that my football takes are horrible. Sometimes when you know, sometimes you get differing points of view on how to do things. And sometimes that may be a good thing. You could look at it as, okay, well, this is how we want to do things and all that, and throwing the ball and whatever. So, and I think you're going to see whoever takes over as offensive coordinator, they're going to take advantage of Saquon Barkley still being able to run the ball. And the reason why I say that is most running backs after that first contract, they're already run into the ground. Now, Saquon did have a couple of injuries when he was with the Giants. So, you know, you could argue that took a toll on him, and you could argue, he missed 20, 30 games. I'm making a rough estimate here, and I'm probably way off. But, he missed all those games, so he may actually be a little bit more fresh in terms of his career, not just week over week. And, and the thing is, even now, um, science has evolved over time. And I mean, look at LeBron in the NBA, still playing at 40 in the NBA, and probably may play another year or two, God forbid. But I mean, you have you have Saquon Barkley. He's in going to be in his 7th year, I believe, 7th or 8th. Um, Let me just double check that here. Um, so Barkley just finished season 7. Um, Derrick Henry finished season 9 with the Ravens, his ninth season, I should say. Alvin Kamara with the Saints. He just completed his eighth season. So, those are exceptions to the rule for the most part because usually once you get those 4 or 5 years under your belt, you are running, you basically run them into the ground. There's no tread left on the tires. So, you know, most free agents in the running back position are damaged goods, plain simple. But we do have exceptions to the rule. We have Kamara, we have um, Derrick Henry, and you have Saquon Barkley. Now, the one thing I said about the Saquon Barkley deal when he was signed here, besides saying, "Oh wow, so that's why they didn't re-sign DeAndre Swift," but you do have. I was looking at it as a three-year contract with a 2-year window, if that makes sense. I'm figuring the second year will be not as good as the first, but the third year has the potential of being dreadful. But I think you can get through all 3 years. He had some, I would say, very minor condition injury things where you take him out of the game for like a drive or two or something like that, but you didn't have him miss a game because of injury. You had him missing that last game because of the fact that even though he had a rushing record that he could have did, it was all about the Lombardi Trophy, which the Eagles did. So everything worked out perfect down at South Philly as well. So, but it'd be interesting to see what the Saints do. Now, according to this article from the Philadelphia Inquirer or Inquirer.com, um, um, Moore is expected to bring Eagles quarterback coach Doug Nussmeier with him to New Orleans. We'll see who else goes. Um, so they're going to look for an offensive coordinator. A name that they're mentioning right now for the Eagles right now as a new offensive coordinator is Kevin Patullo. Um, and this is going to be one of Nick Sirianni's closest friends, so might have to worry about that. Um, um, he started out. He was on his way out as offensive quality control coach when Herm Edwards was fired, following a 2-14 season in 2008. Um, Ironically, Nick Sirianni was Patullo's replacement. Uh, let's see. Sirianni and Patullo never worked together, never met in person, but a relationship that is still going strong after 16 years. Got its start with phone calls and text messages as Sirianni navigated his first NFL gig. Um, and I don't know what the hell that was. So Patullo looks to be one of, oh, I know why, because of the Eagles coach's last name. Okay. I know what it was now. It was my tablet or my iPad. Um, on Wednesday, Patullo described his role with the Eagles as half head coach, half offensive coordinator, but a full role as offensive coordinator here or elsewhere is on his wish list. He'd like to be a primary play caller. Um, Patullo helped Sirianni interview Moore last season. So that's interesting. So, um, so it'd be interesting to see because I'm looking to see if there's any other names that they mention they really don't hear. But Kellen Moore does go to New Orleans. I have no idea if he's going to be at the parade on Friday. Um, but he also has Derek Carr as his quarterback as of right now. And the interesting thing with Derek Carr is they played against each other in the Mountain West about 10, 15 years ago or so. And Boise State defeated Fresno State that day 57-7. So talk about belt to asses because the Eagles did that. And Collegeville Bakery in Collegeville, PA, they have their sign where they welcome people to Philadelphia, like new newscasters and stuff like that, or somebody that's going to be in the area doing something. Well, on the Collegeville Bakery board, they put on their belt to ass because that's what the Eagles did to the Chiefs. But it'd be interesting to see what Kellen Moore does there. Obviously, uh, in a way, it's a little late to the party here, but look at the look at why he was late to the party. Um, but it'd be interesting to see because that that tree, that Nick Sirianni tree, keeps getting plucked. Now, it's pretty safe to say that um, Vic Fangio's not going to go anywhere. He's a Philly guy. He's going to retire as a Philadelphia Eagles coach. I think that he had his chance to be a head coach at Denver. It didn't work out. He said, "All right, I'm going back." He was working behind the scenes with the Eagles. Went to Florida to coach the Dolphins. Dolphins let him go back to Philly because his practices were too tough for them. Well, guess what? You could have had a parade too, but you didn't. So thank you so much for that. And it's interesting to see what's going to happen over the next couple of months. So um, I'll try to keep you up to date on um, new offensive coordinator, or anything like that. So um, okay. So let's see what else do I have here on the list here. And I don't have my stuff printed out because I need ink for the printer. I believe it's been acting weird lately anyway, but I think the the ink is an issue as well. But just need to get to Friday. So I saw this a couple of hours ago, which is interesting. In the state of Nevada, well, the Eagles' Super Bowl upset provided a record boon for Nevada sportsbooks. The state sportbooks won a net $22.1 million on Super Bowl 59, the most ever according to the Nevada Gaming Control Board. The 22.1 million tops the 19.7 million the sportsbooks won on Super Bowl 48 when the Seahawks upset Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos at the Meadowlands. Um, now, the record haul for Nevada sportsbooks comes despite a significant drop in the amount wagered. Um, Approximately 151.6 million was bet on this year's Super Bowl with Nevada sportsbooks, a 20.1 decrease from last year's game, which is a huge number. But also remember, last year the game was in Vegas, and since it was in Nevada, you could openly wager on the game, and they had a record $190 million. Um, The 151.6 million is the lowest amount wagered on the NFL championship since 2021, when 136.1 million was bet on Super Bowl 55 between Tampa Bay and Kansas City. But also that was the pandemic year. That was the pandemic season. Um, as we had anticipated, according to Michael Lawton of the Nevada Gaming Control Board, he says, we anticipate this year's total did not surpass last year's all time record. Obviously, not having the game at Allegiant Stadium was a contributing factor, in addition to not having a team from neighboring California playing the game like last year. So there are some factors that are involved there with that, which is very interesting to say the least. Um, and also remember, more and more states, little by little, are getting sports books. I think we're up in the low to mid 20s now. So, you don't necessarily have to go to Nevada or go to your bookie at your bar or wherever, or call them and say, come up with a code and say, "Oh, give me give me give me Missouri minus 1.5," or something like that. You actually can. And here's the thing: even though we always know that there's always going to be somebody with a gambling problem, and if you do have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. Um, the great thing about sports betting being legal is that you have to go there, get your cash ready. I don't have any money in there, so it's just uh, um more of a paperweight right now, as it's sitting on my desk now. Sorry, but the great thing about sports wagering is if you're if you're disciplined enough to not go to an ATM, especially in a casino, because the casinos will charge you $10-15 for an ATM withdrawal, and then your bank will charge you as well. Um, but the good thing about legalized sports gambling is you know exactly how much money you have in your pocket. You know how much money you have, and you can say, all right, give me 50 on the Eagles. Boom. Give me 25 on Saquon to get over 110 yards. Boom. Give me 25 on Jalen Hurts MVP. Boom. So you'll know exactly how much is in there, and boom, you know, something like that. Or if you have your money out already because you just got back from the ATM to the casino, you know, those little things do matter. And that's part of the good thing, because you're betting with actual bankroll and not betting on credit with a sports bookie. Because if you don't have the money, guess what? Vinny Boombots will come and break your kneecaps, or so they say. Or you have like the case of um, um, White Man Can't Jump, where Woody Harrelson's character gets caught by the guys that they're being chased by the whole time. And here, what they said was they wanted to make an example of him, so they made it look like they were that they killed him or hurt him or anything like that. So all you had to do was pay a little bit of money and then do something like that. Uh, but I mean, the thing is, you have the integrity of the game and all that, and you occasionally have a guy. You occasionally have a guy who may be wagering on the games. I mean, Pete Rose, for example, was infamous for that. You had a couple of situations in baseball over the last couple of years. You had cases in football where they're betting on something, but they were in the facility, so that got them a suspension. Um, so, but every sport will have their own rules and everything else. But when you're just a common person like me, you can go to Parks, to Harris Philly, down to Atlantic City, or you can just go on your phone, pull up your favorite book. Now, I randomly put up DraftKings, so boom, boom, you just log in and you're ready to go. You might have to put in a six-digit code to verify it's you, but everything's on the up and up for the most part, and with the different programs that they give you to the different programs that they have, so you can be identified in or geolocated, as I should say. You know, they'll make sure that you're not a football player within X amount of feet of the training facility. Make sure you're a mile or two down the road before you open that app. Well, first of all, pull over so you don't text and drive or bet and drive or anything like that. But some of the numbers here, I think some of these numbers, have taken a hit also because all these states have gambling. And, California does not have sportsbook gambling. So it actually helps that they can still go to Vegas if they wanted to, or Reno, or some little town in between that may have a casino or a sports book. But, it's, but you could do that. Um, so other states are still gathering, or actually, before I get to that, um, betting on the game's outcome was relatively balanced between the Eagles and Chiefs. The Eagles were a point and a half underdogs on the game, but sportsbooks cleaned up on player props, most notably Philadelphia running back Saquon Barkley not scoring a touchdown. Barkley was the most popular single game parlay and did not see the end zone, said Joey Fazel, who oversees football odds at Caesar Sportsbook. Other states were still gathering Super Bowl betting numbers, but all signs pointed to a tough game for the betting public. New Jersey sportsbooks took 168.7 million in Super Bowl bets, a 19% year-over-year increase in the amount wagered from last year's games. Garden State sportsbooks won a net 25.2 million on the game, according to figures released Tuesday by the Division of Gaming Enforcement. So they actually made more money than Nevada. But also, you got to remember Atlantic City. Well, you have Atlantic City, you have the Meadowlands. I can attest for this because I was at the Meadowlands with AJ and May, and we were a couple of degenerates betting on the horses on the simulcast screen. You can bet there. You can bet at Monmouth Park. Um, you know, those are the two, and I think you can at the OTBs here, but I'm not sure. But um, um, Christian Cipollini of BetMGM said he's a senior trading manager. He said Super Bowl 59, I should say, was the single biggest betting event in the history of BetMGM. It was one of the best single games results in company history. Yeah, because between Kansas City, Saquon Barkley with rushing yards and touchdowns, that thing is part of the reason why. Now, if I had actually played some of the props, I did. I didn't play them on DraftKings, uh, or yeah, I showed you DraftKings. The only reason why I didn't do that is because my money was in um, BetMGM. And the only reason why is I took a $5 credit. I started playing. I started hitting in the casino. Went to another game, hit a little more. Went to another game, hit a little more. Then I got up to like $300. I was like, okay, well, that's my money for the Super Bowl. Then I dabbled in the casino when I was in a voice chat, and don't you know, I hit some more. So, um, so I was told by somebody, and this is definitely something that my mom and my dad would have said. Um, they would have said, "You better not bet at all. or you better take the money out, or something to that effect. And I told them Sunday afternoon or whatever, Monday, whatever I said, just to let you know, you'd be proud of me. Oh, why's that? I played America's favorite game. How do I get this fucking money out of here and into my bank account? Now, granted, I put it in the wrong account. I put it in my savings account, not my checking account, because I had to pay bills today. But it's a simple transfer, nothing too big. Um, but we did get that under control today. So, um, but I did well in the Super Bowl this year, partially because it's the Eagles. Um, I think we ended up in single game wagers and not prop wagers, because a couple of the games I was like, I don't like this line. I'm going to substitute it with Saquon Barkley scoring 2 touchdowns against the Giants that one game, or we're going to go with this one instead because I don't like this line or anything like that. But if my math was correct, and I will correct myself by Thursday night when I have some Philly fade picks for the weekend, only because with no football here, it's a little harder. And maybe I do it every night. I give you one game for the next day or something to that effect. I don't know. Well, I'm going to figure it out over the next couple of weeks. So if we don't have a Philly fade next week or this Thursday, you know why. Um, but um, but you do have it. But the Philly fade will return, and I have to update my spreadsheet. I did give you guys a few winners, and we did go over it Sunday. And little did I know, because I was starting to set up for the post game stream since the Eagles were about to win their second Super Bowl. I didn't realize that Kenny Pickett threw a pass. I told you that was a loser of over 2.5 players throwing a pass. That's a winner because Mahomes plus Hurts plus Pickett equals 3. 3 is better than 2.5, so that's a winner. So I'll look through that, and I think we'll be closer to even right now, which is a good thing. But little by little, I'll give you guys some picks here and there, and maybe I extend it even to also eligible, which will be on Saturday. So, and just a reminder as well, also eligible will be live this Saturday on the Bleacher Brothers channel on YouTube. We're on In the Bleachers tonight. Also eligible will be Saturday morning. We will have a hard out of 11:15. We usually don't go that late, but if we do go a little bit after 11 o'clock, I have a hard out for 11:15 because I start work at 11:30 on Saturday. So, um, we'll be looking at the fairgrounds. They have a big day of racing there. The third leg of their 4-leg um, road to the Kentucky Derby. Um, and we'll see if we can give you guys some winners here uh, this upcoming weekend. So that'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on the Bleacher Brothers channels. So Nevada did well. New Jersey did well. Most books went well. Um, I'm sure the sports book in Kansas made a shit ton of money because I'm sure everybody was betting the Chiefs because it has Kansas in their name, and Kansas City is part Kansas, part Missouri. But you did have them losing to the Eagles and all that. Um, so I do want to bring this up here because this is Super Bowl related. Um, they think this was after the Super Bowl. They think this was after the Super Bowl, but I don't know if it is true or not. Let me find it here. And I'm not sure who reported on this first. Barstool Sports tweeted it. I am going to set this up for you guys. Apparently in New Orleans, Pat Mahomes Sr. and John Rocker, remember him? They nearly exchanged blows on Bourbon Street. Now, apparently, Kendrick Lamar officially ended his beef with Drake during his halftime performance. Another beef emerged during Super Bowl week. Today, a video of Patrick, aka Pat Mahomes Sr., and John Rocker has taken over the sports social media. It is unknown when the incident took place or how it started, but it was on Bourbon Street outside of a bar. And I am going to share my screen here. Let me go here. This is the Barstool Sports post on Twitter, aka X. And let me do this. And you'll see Pat Mahomes Sr. is outside. So I don't know what's going on here. We'll see if we can hear anything with this. Maybe I can pick up something. But so this is on Bourbon Street. And I'll see if I can hear anything because you'll see what happens.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Okay, so there's a lot of background noise there. So you didn't actually get to hear anything, or we don't know what exactly started this. And maybe let me see if I can find something on Barstool Sports in a second here. Um, 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 and here was Mayor Sherelle Parker earlier today. I think this is what I want it to be. Let me play here for you. Oops, I didn't share my screen here. Hold on. This is what I was talking about earlier in the show because I'm trying to find the actual um, the post or the article from Barstool itself. But here's Sherelle Parker, aka Aunt Viv.
I need to say this for the record, and nobody can say this with me. I have to do this alone. Alone, you silence.
Ready? Ready? Ready?
I committed a cardinal sin, and your mayor had a viral moment across the world. An English teacher. What did I say to you yesterday, Dr. Watlington? An English teacher. So, how do you spell Eagles to me? I spell it NFLCHAMPIONS. Take that, right?
Yeah, at least she's having fun with her little mistake there when she spelled Eagles wrong. And I played it a few times on here, and you can find it anytime. But just looking to see if I can find anything about this. Um, okay, so here's the article here from Barstool Sports. I originally found it from 247sports.com, but Barstool says, whoops, um, where is it now? Here, no. Um, so according to this article from Barstool Sports, first off, uh, it's a tough look for Mr. Mahomes. First off, your son is one of the most famous and well-liked human beings in the world. He's playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday. I don't know what night this video was from, but why are you anywhere on the planet that's in the vicinity of John fucking Rocker? There's an old adage that says you don't have to go looking for trouble; trouble will find you. Well, that's bullshit in this case, according to Dante at uh, Barstool Sports. Being out in the French Quarter, not at one, but of 500 licensed and branded NFL events with everybody else at the family hotel is bonkers, especially when this is the fifth time your son's in the Super Bowl. Act like you've been there before. So he's blaming Mahomes for this, but um, senior Mahomes, I should say. Totally normal behavior for Jackson Mahomes. Had seen him in this video. There's absolutely nothing good that could have come from having a discussion with the inebriated John Rocker with a drink in his hand out on the street at God knows what hour on Bourbon Street. Um, but, both guys were probably drunk. You could tell John Rocker in the video was blasted like you wouldn't believe. Um, 247sports.com said that they did mention that neither were on the same team. So, I'm guessing Rocker probably ran his mouth and Mahomes said something back and Mahomes probably got kicked out. Rocker went out after him. That's what I'm guessing, but I don't know. So, there's still a lot that hasn't been told about this story, but it is an interesting thing nonetheless. I do want to find one thing here. I'm going to have to pull this up here. Um, I kind of mentioned this last night. Um, and this shows how pathetic Swifties are, or as I like to call them now, Wifties. And, you can come after me too. I don't give a fuck. What are you going to do? Whoops, I do not want that. Um, Let me just do one thing here. So I saw this, but I didn't have the whole story. So I kind of didn't. I was asking Mike about reviews with Google and stuff like that, but I didn't have all the details here. But I have it now through Barstool Sports here. So um, CJ Gardner Johnson took a shot at Taylor Swift for not being thick enough. So the Swifties are firing back with review bombs of his mom's restaurant. Um, so according to this article here, Cooper DeJean deservedly got all the headlines, but CJ Gardner Johnson had a Super Bowl to be proud of as well. He played all but four of the Eagles' defensive snaps. He was targeted just once, which was a 24 reception by Xavier Worthy, and added three solo tackles. And along with his teammates, Gardner Johnson spared the world from having to listen to any more GOAT talk for another 5 to 10 years at least. Um, as a quote often attributed to Winston Churchill, Puts it, history is written by the victors, and Smitty has pointed that out a couple of times. Gardner Johnson is one who's going to talk any chance he gets. Um, so apparently, okay. So he posted on his stories, I think it was Instagram, should have stayed with that thick shit or thick ass. Because Travis Kelsey had dated someone and she was at the game, but she was rooting for the Eagles. I forget her name. I mentioned it yesterday. Um, so so there's no other way to interpret this other than that he was talking about her having a small ass. Um, so ML football. So now Travis Kelsey has to deal with the defensive back criticizing his girlfriend for having an insufficiently large bottom. Will the suffering never end? And also, Taylor Swift got booed, not by MAGA, like Trump tried to tell you on Sunday, but mostly from Eagles fans and probably people in general who are just sick of her hanging around the Chiefs all the time. That's probably what it was. It had nothing to do with MAGA, unlike what Trump thinks. Um, so Kelsey did not have to respond to the insult. One thing for a victor to start writing the history. It's another thing entirely when the other side has still a standing army, one that hasn't been defeated. That numbers in the hundreds of millions on every continent around the globe. They remain firstly loyal to their queen and who are willing to lay down their lives to defend her. What I'm getting is that Gardner Johnson has made a powerful enemy when he decided to pick on Taylor Swift's backside. Now, according to ML Football on Twitter, that's underscore ML Football, the Swifties and the Chiefs fans have been leaving bad fake reviews to Eagles defensive back CJ Gardner Johnson mom's restaurant in Florida. This comes after CJ GJ went after Kelsey. His mom did nothing and they're putting her livelihood at risk. Awful. And I'm going to show you some of these uh, bullshit reviews here. Um, there we go. Karen Vallejo, terrible customer service and below average food. A, 1 star. ZDs, whoever the fuck that is. 1 star, dine in. Brianna Foreman, worst food and service of my life. The chicken was raw. They should close it down for putting people's lives at risk. You know, typical bullshit. Um, um, Vengeance, thy name is Swifties. All these 1 star reviews are within an hour of each other, presumably with all the girls' names. Too many have been too many have actually eaten at King's Grill in Rockledge, Florida. Some going so far as to accuse CJ Moms of risking customer lives with raw chicken. Poor Mother Gardner Johnson, I don't know her last name. Collateral damage in a fight her son started. A non combatant wounded in a much larger war she had no stake in. Um, we can all be sad for CJGJ's mom, who did not deserve this. She's just a business owner trying to run a restaurant at a time when eggs are worth their weight in gold. But it was her son who drew first blood. Yeah, he had to make his little joke without considering the consequences. He just had to make fun of Taylor's slender behind without thinking it through. Um, Uh, Let this be a lesson to anyone who wants to start a fight with the most powerful woman in the world. In the words of Henry V, his jest shall savor, but a shallow wit when thousands more weep than did laugh it. Um, and I just have one thing to say about the Wifties out there. And you can feel free to clip this. You can feel free to come after me. I got nothing you can take. I got no pride. You know, I don't give a shit. I'll just say this. Wifties are worse than MAGA and the Dallas Cowboys combined. Plain and fucking simple. I will gladly see the NFL lose millions upon millions of dollars because all the Wifties will stop watching football the moment Travis Kelsey retires. Part of me thinks that this is the whole relationship was bullshit from the beginning. And it may be, it may not. You know, if they want to get married and have kids, you know, God bless Travis Kelsey having to deal with that psycho bitch. You know, if he does put a ring on it, it means that he's not going to be a diss album. But I'm sorry. If Donald Trump wants me to give him his due as a half decent president, the Wifties around the world should be considered a terror organization. Plain and simple. Just the fact that they went after CJ Gardner Johnson's mom. How they found out that that was her restaurant in Rockledge, Florida, I'll never know. Maybe it was mentioned in that article and I just breezed through it or whatever. I don't know. And I don't care. But the thing is, you know, we have terrorism all around the world. What they did in these fake articles, these fake reviews, is just as much of a terror attack on America and a terror attack on an innocent person. And I hope that whatever site that they used to post these reviews, whether it's Google, Yelp, whatever, I hope that they get taken down and I hope they get banned from using their site. Do people actually believe that someone who probably has had that business, that restaurant for 15, 20 years? I don't know how long the restaurant's been around. I don't know how long that business has been around. I'm not going to look it up because, you know, I have another topic I want to get to. But the Wifties are worse than MAGA. They're worse than Dallas Cowboy cockroaches here in Philadelphia. They're worse than both combined because Taylor lost. Well, guess what? All you Wifties out there, just to let you know, it was not MAGA that booed you. It was either neutral fans that are sick of your shit or Eagles fans who she turned against because she wanted a little football dick. So, other than that, no. Wifties are just as stupid as MAGA people. Plain and simple. And if Donald Trump wants me to give him any praise, he would call the Wifties a terror organization. due to what they did to C.J. Gardner Johnson's mother. Her business had nothing to do with him talking shit about Taylor Swift. And you can come after me as well. I don't give a fuck. AJ won't like it, but I don't care. But I'll tell you what. And I even had a Wifty giving me shit, banned me because of a simple picture that I posted of Taylor Swift kissing Jalen Hurts. Your team lost. Ha ha. But, you know, all I have to say to all those Swifties out there is grow the fuck up. Plain simple. Grow up. Now, from a group of fans that are Wifty as hell to a quarterback who's Wifty is Aaron Rodgers. And we may have the reason why Aaron Rodgers will not return to the New York Jets next year. And I think this makes sense. Um, so the New York Jets, and probably this is Aaron Glenn's doing because he is in charge of the team now. And it may be the new general manager as well if they announce a general manager. I haven't been paying attention to that part. But apparently the Jets had several stipulations for Aaron Rodgers if they were going to move forward together into 2025. Uh, it doesn't appear much now considering the two sides have already agreed to part ways, but it seems that new head coach Aaron Glenn and general manager, okay, so that's right, they did name a new GM, Darren Moggy, were trying to rein in their outspoken quarterback. Now, this is according to Diana Rossini of The Athletic. And there were two major requirements that the Jets had for Rodgers. One of them seemed simple enough. He had to attend all mandatory practices. While that feels like a given, Rodgers actually missed a pair of minicamp practices last summer while on vacation in Egypt, if you remember. The old Jets leadership didn't seem to mind that trip much whatsoever. Clearly, Glenn and Moggy wanted to get ahead of that situation this time around. And rightfully so, because they want to show that, especially in the beginning, we're not playing favorites and, you want to fuck around with us? Well, fuck around and find out. Now, the big thing, though, is that Rodgers would no longer be allowed to make any outside media appearances during the season, which would include his regular paid spot on ESPN's Pat McAfee show. Rodgers, for better or worse, has been a regular on that show for years. He reportedly makes over $1 million annually for doing so. While he talks about football for a bit, Rodgers had made headlines on the show for sharing conspiracy theories and more. He even implied that late night TV host Jimmy Kimmel, a fellow Disney employee, would be exposed as an acquaintance of a convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, which the network had to walk back hard after Kimmel threatened to sue. But despite the chaos, he's frequently brought Rodgers has remained a regular guest on McAfee's on the network. At least during the season, it seems the new Jets ownership viewed his appearances on the show as a distraction, rightfully so. So they wanted to put a stop to it. While there's almost certainly more than went into the Jets Rodgers split, these two reported new rules are sure to have played a part. So Now, as of right now, it appears unsure what he's going to do next season. He said he's contemplating retirement and wanted to take some time to think about his next move after the season. If Rodgers wants to continue his playing career, it won't be with the Jets. He'll apparently have to find a team that is still okay with his media appearances and vacations too. But you know, it's doesn't look good for A Rod there. Um, I thought I saw something here as well. Um, no, I don't see it here. Um, thought I saw something else today on ESPN, but apparently I don't. Okay. Um, okay. So that appears to be it for this show. Um, we'll be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, or as soon as um, the uh, Bleacher Brothers show ends. So we'll probably be looking around a 9 to 9:15 start. So if we don't start on time, the best thing I could say is even though we stream to the Bleacher Brothers X, my Twitch, in the Bleachers on YouTube, and my YouTube at Joe Quills, the best thing I can say is follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Joe Quills. The reason why I say that is one, I'm trying to become a um, whatever it is, affiliate partner, whatever it is. Let me just make sure I got the right title here. An affiliate, that's what it is. Okay, so trying to become an affiliate, make a little money on the side. Not going to be much, but a $5 here or $20 there. It's good. I can get more creative with even stuff away from my Bleacher Brothers streams. So we can do that as well. So um, so if you're watching right now on X, if you're watching right now on YouTube, go over to twitch.tv/Joe Quills, hit that heart button, follow me, and when the show starts, you'll know. Come find me on Twitch and we'll have some fun. So that will be the case there. Saturday will be the Bleacher will be also eligible at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. We'll have a hard out for 11:15, and that will be Fairgrounds Day this week. So they have a couple of big races there at the Fairgrounds, some of which are Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby prep races as well. So so that is going to be it here for this Monday night. And do appreciate everybody watching and listening to this even after the fact because I'll tell you the truth. It's I'm I do this more than just um I do this more than just um for the views. I also do it for um even after the fact when I post these audio podcasts, and they'll be up tomorrow morning. But you'll still be able to watch on YouTube and all that. So, but that's going to be it for now. And I do appreciate everybody. Also, be on the lookout for my Quills Picks Winners article tomorrow as well. We'll be looking at Tampa Bay Downs on a Wednesday, and we'll get you ready for the weekend. So that's it for now. Do appreciate everybody, and I will see you guys in the winner's circle, and I'll see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern. Just a reminder, we are part of Bleacher Brothers, bleacherbrothers.com for all your sports needs. Have a great night, everybody.